Hey guys, this is so out of my comfort zone, so just bear with me, okay? See, I don't even know how to hold a phone to video, but the Lord has really been placing on my heart um, a there was a phrase that He gave me about 3 years ago. Rick and I have been praying about it, what He wanted me to do with it. The phrase is porch praise, and I didn't know exactly what He wanted. The only thing I know that I was waiting on Him. I didn't want to step into anything that was not what He wanted me to do. So I have, I was, of all places, I was getting a massage this morning, and I was laying there praying, and the Lord said, "Porch praise, it's time." And He really impressed on my heart that He wanted me to start doing videos. I don't know if it's going to be once a week, if it's going to be once a month, might be once a year, I don't know. But He wants me to start sharing some things that He's shown me. So I'm sorry for all the loud noises. I tried to video on the front porch and it was way too loud, so I came to the back porch. We'll see how it works. But I don't know. There's something that God is doing, and I can't even, it's not about me, okay? It's not about me. I'm nobody. I'm just a vessel, and I'm listening to Him, and I'm doing my very, very best to obey His voice. Whatever He tells me to do, that's what I want to do. And I know that He wants me to share something right now about a dream that He gave me 5 years ago. The dream was not, it was something that just really rocked my world. And I reached out to about 5 of my intercessor friends when I had the dream, and I shared it with them, and I was looking for answers, what the Lord was saying, and they shared some things, but it was never really what, I knew that God was saying. And so I ended up, over the years, the Lord has continued to show me different things about that dream. So first I want to share the dream. The dream was, I walked through room after room, white sterile rooms, and they were, there were beds, hospital beds in those rooms, just lots of hospital beds. And on each hospital bed there was a body, a person laying there, and they would have like just mounds of these neon green 3 to 4 inch snakes. Now when you look that up, 3 to 4 inch neon green snakes, you're not going to find anything. It doesn't correlate with anything I've found anyway. So if you find something, you let me know. But it was definitely something that I knew that it was something God was saying. And when you have a God dream, it's not something that any man or any pizza dream could give you. It's very, the colors are different, they're more vibrant, there's more detail. You remember it. You remember what you dreamed. And I've had several dreams in my life. But anyway, in this dream, I noticed all these people were just sitting there or laying there, and they would not move. I'm sorry, some of my guys are texting me their time. And so anyway, I knew that it was just unusual for these people to lay there and with all these snakes on them and not move. I'm like, Lord, why don't they move? Why don't they at least twitch? When Paul encountered the snake, what did he do? He threw that snake off, and it went into the fire. And that would be your normal response, right? Well, these people just laid there. So probably about halfway into 2020, and we know how all that went down, I had I was scrolling through Facebook one day, and I came across this picture of all these media people sitting in these neon green T-shirts, and they were in the audience where they were doing some kind of briefing with President Trump and the doctors and all that. You know how that was. And so anyway, I was like, as soon as I seen that color, neon green, it just really stood out to me, because since I had that dream, everything that's neon green is just like, it just catches my attention, because that's that color, you know. It was so vibrant, and so it has meaning now. There's something about that neon green. So when I seen all those snakes, or all those media people in those neon green T-shirts, I said, huh. And the Lord said, there's your neon green snakes. And I said, Lord, what are you saying? And he immediately showed me that, yes, what did they do? They literally paralyzed people with fear. Why? I mean, there was an agenda behind all of it, and we won't go there right now. But he showed me that, and he showed me that was part of the interpretation of that dream. So going back, we end up, there was about halfway through, maybe 2021, I started hearing seed of the serpent. And I would hear it in messages I was listening to of people teaching or preaching, and I'd hear it in prophetic words. I would hear it in my spirit, and I was like, Lord, what are you saying about the seed of the serpent? I mean, I just keep hearing this over and over. So one day I just stopped what I was doing, and I started researching, and I come across a book, and the Lord had me to order that book, and I read it, and it was probably one of the hardest books I've ever read in my life, because this guy literally lives in the Hebrew language, and he takes everything from the scriptures and brings out the Hebrew meanings, and it was just like a whole new world for me. I was like, wow, and that means that? I mean, I had no idea. And there were things that I was seeing and learning that I told Rick, I said, Rick, you've got to read this book. I mean, it's amazing. Well, Rick's not a reader. He does read, but he's more of a person that would listen to a video before he would read. And that's part of the reason, by the way, that the Lord has me doing this, is because he showed me that there's going to be people that will not take time to read the post and what he says to me to say, but they will take time to listen to a video sometimes. We'll see. But anyway, there were, I kept hearing that. I got the book, I was reading it, and I learned so much, even going back to the story of Adam and Eve. And I was like, God, why has anyone never taught on this? Well, then he started bringing people into my life that were teaching on some of these things. And I was like, oh my goodness, it really is prevalent. I mean, it's just that we've not, can I say something? We as a church, we have been brainwashed so much over some of the things that we should have already known. And I'm trying to look at this. I didn't want to keep on the timer too long. But anyway, there were things that God showed me, even going back with the Scofield Bible. And I'm not bashing Scofield, but if you go back and read some of the history of Scofield, getting an email there, and read where he came from. Just do it. Just read his history. Go back and read King James, who he was. Guys, we have been lied to for so many years, and it was all part of their plan. It was. King James wasn't a good person, guys. Go back and read the history on him. Read Schofield. His Bible, by the way, is the reference Bible that most all young preachers learn when they go to seminary school. They learn. They know the commentaries as good as the scriptures. And you tell me that's not indoctrination. So anyway, going back to Schofield too, he left his wife and 2 girls. He went to another town after a failed business, and pretty much the Illuminati found him, and they had him to join their elite men's group. They paid for his membership. The monthly membership was more than he made in a year, but they bought him. They set him up. Then they had him to write his own Bible, but he had to put in some things that in the commentaries and stuff that that they wanted. So okay, I'm gonna hush. But anyway, so going back on through this with the seed of the serpent, the Lord showed me so many things, even with Genesis 3, that no one has ever, to that date, stood in a church and actually taught or preached. And I'm like, God, this is just blowing me away. I don't understand. And there's so many things that we can learn. I'm sorry, it's hot out here and I've got a sweatshirt on. But there are things that God is, about 6 to 8 weeks ago, the Lord had me to, he gave me another dream, and it had the baby in it again. And like I've told y'all before, all the time when I see a baby in a dream, it's America right now. And he shows me that. So I was changing this baby's diaper, and I lifted up the right leg, and I swatted it. I mean, I literally slapped it really, really hard. And I mean, it hurt my hand, and I'm like, I almost cried in the dream. I was like, Lord, why? Why would I would never do that. And a few days later, he showed me that baby, not only did it symbolize America, but it was that I was to go ahead and start speaking some things that he wanted me to speak to wake people up. And I said, okay, Lord, I'm nobody. Why would you want to, but it's not about me. It's not, and it's not about anything that I could do. It's about God and obeying him. And if any of you read the post that I put on, I think it was a week or so ago, about the prophecy that Robin Bullock gave about the slap. It was on Elijah's Streams. And I wrote it down word for word and shared it because the Lord told me to. But go back and read it and see what God said about that slap. See, we can patty cake and we can take our right hand and just lightly hit that left cheek. It's not going to do anything. If we're right-handed and we take our right hand and we smack the right cheek, that's when you're going to feel the pain. That's when it's going to wake you up. So I'm on a journey, guys. I'm to do Porch Praise. I don't know where this one's going to lead to or what God's going to do with it, but I'm being obedient to him. I am bought with a price. I'm not my own. So whatever he tells me to do, I'm going to do. Love you guys.